Let's talk about Rush on vinyl. This is where it all began. It began on vinyl, like so many bands from that era that started very late 60s to in the 70s. It was vinyl. Yeah, we had 8-track. That did exist. But if you wanted good audio, we had vinyl. So that's what we're talking about now. What's great is that Rush re-released and reissued 180, 200 gram vinyl back 10 years ago. It's been 10 years. 10 years since 2015. And kind of perfect timing for us to revisit these reissues. Lots of going on tonight. So, yeah, these are the reissues. And back in 2015, Rush had on their website. Take two on that. So back in 2015, Rush had on their website a press release with regard to all the reissues. It came out September 21st, so 9/21/2015, the Rush vinyl reissues. And it simply read this: the Rush issues will continue. We are happy to announce that the following titles are now have release dates for pre-order. And all of these will be audiophile quality, 200 gram vinyl, and each with a high definition digital download. I know. Did you guys download those? Let me know. They were these FLAC files. Pretty much, I believe they were all FLAC, which is basically an uncompressed audio file. Massive files, right? You know, you have MP3s in that 3 to 6 range-ish, depending on the length of the song, of course. But on average, about 5 megs-ish for the MP3s. But these FLAC files would be 100 plus megabytes, right? Because they're uncompressed audio files. Kind of like a WAV file, or what you'd actually put onto a CD, a CDA file. That's what CDs read. But the uncompressed versions of those, it is a codec. It's more of a wrapper, okay? A wrapper is a way in which audio technology, stereos, computers, music players can read an audio file, and even it can be uncompressed or it can be highly compressed, like an MP3. That, of course, is highly compressed. So anyway, they were FLAC files. I could go off on that tangent for a while. They did add in this press release, as a bonus, Counterparts and Test for Echo will both feature etchings on side D of the album. And you can pre-order these titles and so on. So, why am I reading this? Because September 25th of 2015, Exit Stage Left. October 9th, Signals. October 23rd, Presto and Roll the Bones. November 6th, again, this is all 2015, Counterparts, Test for Echo. December 4th, Grace Under Pressure, and then Power Windows. December 11th, Hold Your Fire and Show of Hands. And finally, on January 15th, which I assume would be 2016 at that point, would be Feedback. This is the first time since 2015 when I bought a lot of these reissued albums. I've also collected a couple of the 40th anniversary versions as well, and I own some original Rush vinyl. But since 2015, in 10 years, I had no idea which albums I had. It's just been a while. They've been packed away in pretty much their original Amazon boxes. I did, of course, take them out at the time. I unwrapped them. I like to unwrap them. I like to look at them. But I also put them in high grade, what's the word? Scrapbookers use this term all the time, but the point is something that won't degrade over time, a really high quality plastic, you know? So both for the sleeve and for the albums, the vinyl themselves, they're all in these high grade sleeves. You can buy those on Amazon. That's what I did. I got like 100 pack, of sleeve covers and all the vinyl covers. And I think I re-upped that a couple times just to cover. And I still need to buy more. My daughter now has an extensive 40 to 50 vinyl collection, some good stuff too. She has Billy Joel and some Elton John and Eurythmics, and she's got a really sweet collection going. I'm really proud of her. And as she's collecting all of these, she's asking me. So I said, "Babe, yeah." To my daughter, I said, "I'll order some more, so we can. I need to get a bunch of my Rush and other albums. For instance, Matt recently, one of our good friends out there, one of our faithful fellow viewers of the Loud Boy channel, Matt recently sent me a greatest hits Triumph album. And Matt is an avid collector. And if you guys have any questions for Matt, hit him up. in the comments. He has some great websites that you can visit. Anyway, just say, hey, Matt, and you do it right there in the comments. I don't have that information with me at this time, but Matt will help you out, or just get in touch with me and I can help you out. He has a couple of really great websites to buy vinyl, including some Rush stuff. So that's my daughter's collection. I need to get them in their cases and sleeves and everything. So yeah, it's been 10 years. And as I'm going through, and I'm chronologically laying out all of my vinyl, I realized that I'm only missing 2 or 3. Again, not all originals, okay? Reissues and originals through the years, from Rush all the way to Clockwork Angels, and then, of course, the 40th anniversary editions, some live in there. But I'm missing Test for Echo, Feedback, and I think Grace Under Pressure. No? Point is, we'll find out. We're about to go through them. So as a lot of you know, I said in a recent video, and I shared this with you guys when I got it, I was very excited to finally get My Favorite Headache on vinyl. I love this album. I've said it many times. I wish Getty would make another album. But yeah, the artwork is spectacular, as it always is with vinyl, right? Because until this time, I only had the CD. And that's great, but to truly appreciate the artist, what the artist did to create the album art, you need vinyl, okay? Because, it's basically, it's like poster size, right? And so I was really excited to finally get My Favorite Headache in Getty. If anyone knows Getty, or Getty, if you're watching, brother, I would love it. I think a lot of us would love it to have another solo album from you. And as you well know, My Favorite Headache, the present tense, Window to the World, working it perfect. That's side 1, side 2, Runaway Train, The Angels Share, Moving to Bohemia, Home on the Strange. All right, album 2, which is side 3 technically, Slipping Still in Grace to Grace, side 4, bonus tracks, My Favorite Headache instrumental, and Home on the Strange instrumental. So that is My Favorite Headache. So that falls, of course, under our solo category. This album's really precious to me. I've mentioned this to you before. This was recorded, August 26, 1974, in Cleveland, Ohio. The first time in an American broadcast was Rush, what they call Rush, ABC, or the first American broadcast. This is what's great. That's the day I was born. So this album is special, still wrapped, Got this as a Christmas present from my wife. And it's special because, again, this celebrates my birthday. It celebrates the birthday of Rush. And I just love this album. And it's gold. All right, both Rush and I turned 50 this year. It's our golden anniversary. Don't you love getting old? All right, so it comes with a double album, Side A, Finding My Way, The Best I Can, Need Some Love, In the End. Side B, Fancy Dancer, In the Mood, Bad Boy, Here Again. Side C, which is, the side 1 of the second album, Working Man, a drum solo, What You're Doing, Garden Road, this is now on the side D, Garden Road, Anthem, Beneath, Between, Behind, and finally, Fly By Night. Love this one. Just it's special to me, as I've explained. All right, we're going to work our way backwards. Why not? Of course, the final album by Rush, fantastic, amazing album that, we didn't know at the time that it would be their last, and it almost felt like they knew it would be their last, right? But, that's beside the point. It's a fantastic album. The music, spectacular. His drumming, Getty's voice, and the production value, and the songwriting, Alex's guitar, Neil's drums, but the lyrics so poignant and almost prophetic. With you think about the garden being the very last song on the very last album of Rush is The Garden, which is almost like it's Neil's story. It's what he held most dear, right? Family, love, respect. So many of us share that, right? Of what's truly important in life. And as you tending that garden, you're tending the things in your life. Anyway, I've talked about this many times, but it bears saying again. Fantastic. I love having this on vinyl. You guys know the song layout. We won't go through them. So, of course, that is Clockwork Angels, Snakes and Arrows. All right? 2007, 2008. I got to see this tour. It's awesome. Great album. You know, and you guys probably have each of your favorites I'd love to hear. You know, it's a couple of my favorites on here. Armor and Sword, love it. Way the Wind Blows, fantastic. Hope is just beautiful. Malignant Narcissism, Hold On. Good News First. I mean, it goes on and on. Great album. Great big old artwork. Snakes and Arrows. Moving back in time again. This is the remixed. When I was going to pick something to get, definitely I want the remixed version. And I own both the original version of course, on CD, and I have the remixed version as well, as many of you I'm sure do. But yeah, guys, this is Vapor Trails, all right? And the remix was huge. Just the sound difference and soundscape alone of Earthshine radically changed from the original. They added different vocal parts because you're working in Pro Tools, right? If Geddy has a sweet vocal part and you want to echo that in certain sections and add and tweak little parts, you can do that. And they did that with the remix. So yes, there you go, guys. Vapor Trails remixed. Now, one of the albums I don't have is Test for Echo. However, I saw that tour, and on that tour, it's right here. This is the original that I bought at the concert. This is the tour book. What's kind of cool is that you guys probably know when you design a book for a tour, right? And you have a tour book, you use photos from the last album. So all of this stuff is like artwork and photos taken from the Counterparts era, right? Which came before Test for Echo. Counterparts being like one of my top 5 albums, which I love. So it's kind of cool that the artwork in here is reflective of that, of the Counterparts time. But yeah, so anyway, I thought I'd just take this out because this is just another case of something amazing to have in our collections are these tour books. And I know that on Rush.com or the Backstage Club, they've been reissuing a lot of the tour books. Check that out, okay? Guys, go to Backstage Club, and you can get a bunch of copies that they've reissued. So anyway, so I'll let you know about that. Of course, coming before that, we just mentioned it, is this album, Counterparts. I've mentioned this before, and I'll do it again. And by the way, I need to stop saying I've mentioned this before. I'm just going to go ahead and say it. But Counterparts is special to me. You know, the Rush ABC 1974, the year I was born. This was the year I went off to college. And when it came out, I was homesick, 2,000 miles away from home, and having new Rush music. And I just fall asleep at night. You guys done this? I did this when I first discovered Rush in like early high school or junior high. I'd fall asleep with moving pictures or permanent waves, headphones. And I'd wake up and still be looping or playing. Have you done it? I'm sure you have. And I did that, or at least fell asleep. I'm not sure if I played all night, but I fell asleep to Counterparts many, many times. It lifted my spirits in a time where I needed them truly lifted. And that's what my favorite band did. That's what Geddy's voice did, and that music, and just having that with a sense of stability and peace and joy and happiness. Having that new Rush was so important, and that's why this remains, you know, it's solid in the top 5 of my favorite albums. You know, because music is that and should be that for us, right? Music connects us to our memories, to who we are now, linking back to who we were, and it's all wound together, and that's the beauty of music. And great music doesn't get old. I can still listen to this 30 plus years later. It's just as fresh. It's just as great. Just as I can listen to moving pictures. I mean, great music is timeless that way. It resists time. And I love that so much. All right. Of course, coming before Counterparts is, yes, right, Roll the Bones. Great album. Underrated by many. Properly rated by most of us who know. Okay? who, you know, all you out there who are like me, yeah, we know how great of an album this is. And yeah, and it's just cool to have the big old artwork once again. So there we go. Counterparts. Of course, prior to that would be Presto. Presto was prior. Presto, so many great tunes on here. This was the return to the power rock trio, as is so perfectly described in the documentary. But it's true. And synthesizers, I can't talk tonight, took kind of a backseat at that point, right? But anyway, love it. Presto. Now we have Hold Your Fire. Hold Your Fire came out right around the time I discovered Rush, okay? 87, 88, that general kind of time period. And because it was so fresh on the scene new, it had just barely come out. And I think the first one I bought that was new, where I was there opening day, I think was Presto. It's kind of a blur. It's been a while. But this album has resonated with me through the years. And yeah, Geddy admits and says that it's a softer, jazzier kind of sound. However, it's Rush. And even Rush in this musical space is still Rush and still holds up against the piles of excrement of other type of music out there, right? It's still better than that. And therefore, I still love it. It's still Rush. Hold Your Fire. All right. Square smack in the 80s. Power Windows. I mean, big money. Incredible. I love grand designs. Manhattan Project is just a time capsule and a history lesson. So great. And of course, you know, given the recent award-winning, money-making Oppenheimer, having Manhattan Project written and recorded so long ago, pretty darn cool. Territories, Middletown Dreams, classic. I've talked about that before. Mystic Rhythms, great drum part. Love it. I do not have Grace Under Pressure, which, Rush, please, for all of us, where's our 40th anniversary of Grace? Please. Because I don't own it on vinyl. Okay, so please, I would really love, and so many of us would love Grace Under Pressure on vinyl. The whole package. The 40th anniversary. So please, Rush, thank you. This is a reissue of Signals. Okay? And so many amazing classics on here. You guys know them. Subdivisions, Analog Kid, Digital Man, New World Man, Losing It. Oh, the violin part. Countdown. Again, another time capsule, right? To the whole space shuttle era. Just so brilliant, so great. Again, it's part of that era, but it's Rush. Love it. And that was a reissue. This is original. Yep. You can kind of see a little bit of the foxing, or you can see the outline of the vinyl there. Yes, this is my original copy of Signals. So, let's see. There's the artwork right there. And by the way, check this out. You don't get more 80s than that right there. You know, the kind of the color scheme they applied to the photos of the guys. It's just another time capsule of an era. Okay, very cool. Moving Pictures. And I do have the 40th anniversary. It came in a big box. It has a Moving Pictures t-shirt in it. So if you can get a copy of this, it comes with a t-shirt. It comes, with, of course, with the vinyl. And so, oh, by the way, okay, there it is right there. Comes with that t-shirt. It's hanging in my closet right now. And we're going to talk about some of the apparel in this video. So yes, this is the 40th anniversary. And I believe this is the reissued vinyl that came with it. Okay, Moving Pictures. You guys know it. It is, you know, the album that broke everything wide open for Rush. And they became a phenomenon that summer. This is it. And you guys know it. I don't need to expound on that too much. Save for this. This is an original that, by the way, the vinyl's not in there, okay, in full disclosure. But in this original, I had John Petrucci and Mike Mangini sign this when I met Dream Theater. But it also has the two signed that came with R30, the guitar picks of Alex and Geddy. So yeah, this is an original Moving Pictures. I just love that I have, and by the way, I got this at college. I was in the TV, radio, film department, and I actually had my own radio show in college. And because of that, we were selling off a bunch of vinyl on the front lawn of our school. And I'm flipping through. Okay, I'm there. I'm part of the sale because I'm part of the department. And we're just selling off old crap vinyl, right? Had I known I'd start a major vinyl collection in the future, I would have picked up more at the time. But I snagged this immediately when I saw this in the stack of stuff. Okay, and there's no vinyl in it, but I just had to have it, of course, right? In a way, this is possibly my first Rush vinyl, sleeve, if you will. But yes, that's what this is. Original moving pictures, signed by Dream Theater. Anyway, so I kind of turned it into some wall art. Okay, it's in a frame here. Of course, coming before moving pictures, this is a 40th anniversary version. This comes with, of course, the original album, and it has a bonus Permanent Waves World Tour 1980, which is a double album for that whole tour recording. Also in here, I don't know why I kept all this in a stack, but yes, it comes with a great book. Okay, and then this is the vinyl right here. Okay, this is actually the tour vinyl and the album vinyls in here. And then I have, this is original, with vinyl this time, as you can see right here. Okay, so I do own the original. This is the reissue. This is what's nuts. I don't know why I have two, and yes, you guys know this is one of my favorite albums for Natural Science alone. Okay, I mean, not to mention, my goodness, not to mention Spirit of Radio, Free Will, Jacob's Ladder. Come on, Entre Nous. I mean, the whole stinking album's amazing. And we wouldn't have Moving Pictures without this album, without the sea change of sound and songwriting dynamics, and what Rush did was so monumental that it led to Moving Pictures. You guys know that story. So I'm only saying that to say I have no idea why I have the two of these. But I do. Hemispheres and Farewell to Kings. As you guys well know, that... Let's see, where are we? Okay. Cygnus X-1. Okay? This was for Record Store Day. And this has Cygnus X-1, Book 1, The Voyage, and also Book 2, Hemispheres, on one single album. Of course, you know that Cygnus is separated across two different albums in real life, but they finally put it on one vinyl, which is so cool. You got the cool brand on the back for Cygnus X-1, the Hemispheres. So, that's what this is. I love this. Have not unwrapped it. Don't plan to. And speak of the devil, this is Hemispheres. This is a reissue. Okay, so again, in that at least 2015 category, I'm not sure, it doesn't matter what year I got it, but yeah, that's what this is. The reissue of Hemispheres, which has, of course, Cygnus Book 2 on it. And this is a Farewell to Kings, a reissue as well. Okay, and of course, you got Xanadu on here, Closer to the Heart, come on. But of course, Cygnus X-1, Book 1. Okay, so the two parts of Cygnus, Book 1 here and Book 2 here. Okay. And then, of course, combined into that one other album. Besides missing a couple of the studio albums, I am missing a Show of Hands and Exit Stage Left, I believe, on vinyl. However, I more than covered it with All the World's a Stage. Here's why. When this came out, reissue, I got it, okay? So I have All the World's a Stage, all right? How many sides on here? Yeah. Okay, so it's double vinyl, 4 total sides for the entire concert experience, All the World's a Stage. However, my wife, awesome that she is, she was in a record store this past year and found an original copy. That's what this is. So all these years later, probably 10 years after I got the reissued version of this, she picks this up for a song, and now I have an original copy of All the World's a Stage. And as you know, this is Rush's first live album. Now, I have at least 2 copies of this. I found 2 to show you. 2112. Okay? You know how important it is. How amazing it is. This is the album that changed everything for me. This is the album that turned me into a lifelong, diehard talking to you now fan was 2112. And because of that, yeah, it's only appropriate. I mean, yes, I own multiple vinyl, multiple CDs. I have the making of Blu-ray. I mean, you name it, right? I have my original cassette. I have 2112. I don't have 8-track. That might be the only medium in which I don't own 2112. However, someday, right? And man, I swear there was at some point I was in an antique store. There's a great one up near where my parents live in Vermont. And I swear I saw an 8-track one time. If I did, I have to question my sanity why I didn't buy it, even if it was $20. But just to have like every form of 2112, I mean, you don't get more nerdy than that. So it'd be perfect for me. So anyway, 2112, that's it. So that's that on vinyl. Those, of course, are reissue. I don't own the original. I wish I did. All right, moving on. This is a reissue of Caress of Steel. Okay. Coming before that, this is a reissue of Fly By Night. And as you know, if there's one song in the entire catalog that deserves the Golden Turd Award, all right, and it's hard for me to make this joke, but I have to, it would be Fly By Night, the song. It does deserve the Golden Turd Award, meaning if I had one song that I don't ever want to hear again, and guess what? I think Geddy shares my opinion 100%. He doesn't care for Fly By Night. Therefore, I have the confidence to say that it deserves the unhonored Golden Turd. Meaning, if we're gonna pick one song, it is Fly By Night, the song, not the album, the song. So yes, the Golden Turd Award. There you go. So that's Fly By Night. Finally, we get to the beginning. Of course, the beginning is self-titled Rush. This is a reissue of the vinyl. More importantly, it came part of this package, which is a really cool package. It is a box, okay? Inside this box, if you haven't seen it, it's pretty cool. It actually has our old masters list, okay? Original handwritten stuff, like for the multi-track tapes that they used. It has this Rush family tree, which shows you different names and personnel leading up to the Rush that we know and love. And again, more master stuff. There is another insert that looks like an actual reel from, like a multi-reel, a multi-track that they used to record back then on tape. I hardly ever listen to the first album. There's a bunch of reasons for that. I don't need to go into it. We all have our favorites and we all have our least favorites. And when I say least favorite Rush song and or album, it has to do with what I listen to most, what I want to listen to, wow, I can't talk tonight. Oh. You can't blame a guy for trying, right? Anyway, so first album, I don't listen to it that much. It doesn't bloody matter. Why do I even bring these things up? I know why. I can't help myself, but hey, let's do one. We all miss and love Neil, okay? But in case you didn't know, John Rutsey passed away many years ago. And I'm very thankful that Rutsey was there in the beginning to help form Rush and to be part of the original crew. That's so important, right? We wouldn't have the Rush that we have with Neil Peart without at least them having a drummer to begin, right? They had to at least form and start. And just like me getting out certain paragraphs and sentences as I talk to you in real time tonight, sometimes you don't always get it right the first time. And sometimes you're going to do a lot better the second time. All right? And tonight, me talking to you is proof positive of that. But I say that to say this. Rush had to start somewhere. And I'm very thankful to John Rutsey. Okay, may he rest in peace. I'm thankful for his role. He left the band. It's all history now. And we have Neil Peart, and we're better for it. But let's be thankful for the guy that helped start it all, right? Yeah, at least I am. So, there you go, guys. Oh, I have one more special thing to show you. I can't make that sound. Anyway, This, not original, okay? It's a photograph, it's a lithograph, and these are not real signatures of Rush, but it was a cool gift from my wife. I mean, come on. It was a cool gift that I keep framed. And I at least I assume these are copies of their signatures, but that's all this is. It's a photograph with copies of their signatures. I'm sure somewhere in the world, someone actually owns an autographed copy of 2112. And dude, if you're watching, let us know. I'd love to see your actual physical album. But I love having this on my wall. That, you know, just having this, even though they're not real, you guys know why. I don't have to explain this to you, right? You know why it's special. So yeah, that's the one last thing I wanted to show you. It's a picture of a vinyl sleeve. Not quite vinyl, almost vinyl, pseudo vinyl. Guys, so there you go, vinyl. Grace Under Pressure, guys. The 40th anniversary editions are great. Having a lot of sweet bonus content included has been amazing. Like with 2112, to have other people like Steven Wilson, you know, when he recorded Twilight Zone for the 2112 40th anniversary, that was special. All right. And I would love to see more of that. You know, some people, even if it's Steven Wilson again, you know, get some guys, you know, but special features, stuff like that, video. Yeah, just keep the 40th anniversary. I'm hoping it's not paused forever. There must be a reason why. And maybe it's already in the pipeline. Maybe they're printing them right now. Okay. They're pressing those albums and we could get a 40th K, Grace Under Pressure, of course, then followed by moving, power windows. But I say all that to say this. Vinyl is special. I think it's so cool that, 40, 50 years later, after that time period at least, right? Vinyl's been around since the late 1800s. But all these years later, decades and decades and decades later, we still find value in it. It still sounds amazing. Is a testament to just what a special medium it is. Vinyl. So that's been the Rush Vinyl Collection.